This is
And now with our Masters coverage.
yes, we're starting ahead of CBS this year. And we're starting ahead of Prime. Andy, Prime is covering the Masters this year, right?
Yeah, for a couple hours on Thursday and Friday.
Andy North, everybody. Welcome back to the show, Andy. Always a pleasure.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Well, happy Easter weekend.
Yes. What are you bringing to Easter? Because Carrie said she's taking, what is it, potatoes, what, Carrie?
A potato fennel gratin,
Yeah.
Andy. It's delicious.
Well, we're traveling to Augusta, so we won't be worried about much of anything.
Well,
Pimento sandwiches, right? Is that one of the dishes?
Pimento, cheese, yes. I'm not a big fan.
oh,
I
Andy.
meant to try it, but I never did.
Their egg salad and chicken salad is excellent too. So
Yeah.
there's
No,
there's a lot of things on the menu for a couple of bucks.
I know you're
Yeah.
right there
I
on
don't want you dripping nachos or bratwurst all over the place.
Good Lord.
Augusta. We don't want that.
I disagree with you on the pimento spread, Andy. For the last couple of years, we have ordered the Masters kit that you can get. So you have the napkins and you have the cups and all that stuff. That stuff is addictive. It's so good.
Yeah, they do it themselves too. They've got literally a sandwich factory just across the street that they make them all. It's amazing. Yeah, it'll be a fun week.
Are you will you be part of the Masters dinner that goes on? No. Okay.
That's only a champions dinner.
Right. But I just thought,
unfortunately, I never got one of those.
sorry, Andy. Yeah.
But it's a neat. It really is a great affair. The defending champion picks the menu, and usually it has a lot of the stuff they like, from their area of the country.
Yeah, they get to pick the menu, right?
And Rory's picking the menu this year, and he went all out, right?
He's got a lot of good stuff. It looks like. He also has to pay for it, so that's good too.
I didn't know that the defending champion had to pay for the dinner. Really?
He's putting on the dinner. It's his dinner. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a jip.
That's a good deal.
All right. So as we go into the golf season, for those people who, like everybody in the world, I always say there's 10 good golfers in the world. The rest of us are just struggling out there. Does that sound accurate?
There might be more than 10.
Okay.
But percentage-wise, it's probably a tenth of a tenth that are good, and everybody else struggles.
There's always a new thing, a new product, a new wedge, a new ball, a new something, a new technique, some new practice device. Does it work, Andy, or is it one of those things, if you're a good golfer, you're a good golfer. If you're not a good golfer, just keep working at it?
Well, there's the advances in technology has really changed the game completely, particularly for the average player. You've got clubs that are a little bit easier to get the ball up in the air. But for the professional, the tour players, it's really made a big difference. The distance that they can hit the ball now because of the equipment's amazing. But there's going to be changes constantly, and you're always looking for some way to get better. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
I've only golfed for a year and a half now, and it's been wildly inconsistent. It's been
welcome to the
great.
rest of your life.
Right. But what is the one thing you would tell a new golfer? Like, what is one tip that you would just say, listen, if you can't get this right?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that you're playing golf for a reason. You're going out there to have fun.
Okay.
And if you don't get frustrated, everybody gets frustrated at some level, but just enjoy it. There's going to be some really good days. There's going to be some really bad days.
Okay.
But eventually you hit one good shot. Say, oh, that was good. I can have a good positive remembrance of this day. But I think the biggest thing is just try to do the basic fundamentals well. Good grip, good alignment, ball position, just real basic things. I mean, when I worked with the gentleman that taught me for 50 years, we would go back to basics literally every time I'd go see him and hit balls. Just making sure that your grip was good, that the ball was in the right position, you're aimed where you're trying to make it go. That's all really important, and then just go ahead and swing at it.
See, if
most
a
people try
guy
to hit it.
who won the U.S. Open twice in his career needs an instructor, what hope does anyone else have?
Well, you're doing it for fun.
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
I
fun.
agree.
It is so
You
fun.
know, that's what, you go and shoot baskets in the driveway with
Yes.
your kid. You're doing it because you enjoy it. You're having fun with your son or daughter.
There's
You're not out there trying to be Michael Jordan, for God's sake.
Well, we're trying to
know?
be Michael Jordan, knowing that there's no way you'll ever be Michael Jordan. But being on the course and just being with your friends and having a good time for those 4.5 hours, and if it gets to be longer than 4.5 hours, pick up the pace.
Right, exactly. Well,
But I was having fun.
it's really interesting. Sand Valley, which is an amazing facility here in Wisconsin.
I've heard a lot about it.
They built two great courses to start, and the last couple they've done, one of them's a par 68, so it's a little bit shorter course, and then they did a 12-hole course. So that if you've got
So getting to
3
be a
hours,
thing,
go
right?
play the 12-hole course. Or 4 hours, you can play the shorter 18. You want 4.5 or 5, you can go play the bigger course.
They've got one opening at Grand Geneva that's going to open up here in the next month or so, Andy, a 12-hole
Yeah.
course. And the funny thing about the 12-hole course is whenever I would golf with women, wife, whatever, girlfriend, it was always, I don't want to play 18. I'm good for like 11 holes. And now we have 12-hole courses. It's great.
It's perfect.
It is.
We built a 12-hole par 3 course at Trappers. It's just perfect. You can get out there and play in a couple hours and have fun and hit some shots and mess around with your buddies and you're done. It's
Sure.
perfect.
Yes. Sure, you're down a dozen balls. Sure, you're tired. You're sweaty. You're cut up from digging in the woods for another ball that you couldn't find. But just keep in mind, you came out here to have a good time.
fun.
Yeah. Have a good time while you're out here.
If you're paying attention, you probably end up with more balls than you lost. If you're looking for them, you should find extras.
Don't you love
I do
those
all the time.
Don't you love those guys that go into the woods and come out with an armload and it's just get your ball. Get out. Let's go.
I don't know why.
No, it's a stupid game we play, but it is amazing.
That is great.
Who's the nicest guy on tour, Andy?
Oh gosh, we got a lot of really good people. One of the guys that everybody talks about is Strick.
Okay.
Right here, in one of our guys that, he's a terrific human being and a good player and done a lot of good for his community. Those are good guys.
Yeah, not surprising. A Midwest guy. He's actually from Illinois, not Wisconsin, though. So just
Well, he went to school.
went to school in Illinois. Yeah. So what do you expect from the Masters this year? It's always like, well, what's the weather going to be like? It's
it's welcome to spring. There, just like here, that you could have some amazing days in the 80, 85 range. You can have some days in the 55 with rain and winds and all the other stuff. But, all in all, it's always a great week. I think it's a really wide open this year. I mean, when we went there last year, Scheffler was such a dominant favorite that there was no way you thought he was going to get beat. Rory had a great week and took care of some demons and finished off the Grand Slam. But I think this year there's probably, 15, 20 guys that might have a really good chance. Scotty will be a favorite. Rory will be one of the favorites. DeChambeau will be one of the guys we'll talk about. Rahm from LIV. Brooks Koepka, who's left Live and he's come over and he's playing now and he's had some nice finishes. And then, some of the younger guys like Oberg, that are just super talents that they'll get theirs here eventually. Schauffele's playing well again. Morikawa's had a nice start for the year. There's a bunch of guys that it should be a fun Masters, as it always is.
My pick every year used to be I went with Freddie Couples. I always said, I'm going with Freddie. Freddie will win. And Freddie he had his years where after the first or second round, he was on top of the leaderboard or sniffing around there anyway.
Yeah, he played well there up into his 60s.
Right.
But it's a golf course that if you have a lot of experience on it, even as you get older, you can get it around. I think if you look at the major championships, more guys in their 40s have had chances to win here than any of the other ones. And I think it's basically the knowledge there is so valuable.
Have they changed anything lately at Augusta? Usually, if they do, it's kind of
they built a new players facility for this year's Masters that's off the charts.
Oh, really?
So the players literally have their own clubhouse over by the practice tee that they don't have to even go near the other clubhouse.
Okay. But I mean, to the course, did they make something longer or bend harder?
They didn't do much this year. They made the changes a year ago, 13, where they extended it, but they're always tweaking everything a little bit. They don't, if it's not a major change, they don't talk about it. But it's a golf course that has changed quite a bit over the years, but it's still the meat and potatoes of it are the same.
The Wednesday before the Masters is Family Day. That's par 3 day. How many hole-in-ones will we have this year at the par 3?
We'll probably have a couple.
Yeah, there's.
They've created a couple of hole locations on holes that if you hit a half decent shot, it's going to just go down to the bottom of a little. Just like shooting it in a barrel almost. It's going to be near the cup. So we'll probably have a couple. That's always exciting. They put 40, 50,000 people around the 9-hole par 3 course. It's electrifying. The roars and cheers over there are so much fun. But the par 3 is a great way to get the week started, and then Thursday it's for real.
What's the greatest Masters of all time? What was the greatest 4 rounds?
I think there's got to be 2 that are the top of the list.
Okay.
Before 1986, probably the greatest Masters was 75, when you had Nicklaus, Weiskopf, Miller, Watson, all coming down the stretch, and there was just amazing golf being played. But once 86 came around and Jack won at 46, that was special. And then Tiger winning in 2019 was off the charts. I think those 2 are the 2 greatest ever.
I just saw a clip the other night of Jack after he had won in 86. And there was somebody who wrote an article, a newspaper article. I think it said, done, finished, whatever. Jack was done. And he won, and he had that article. And he's at the mic or the table or whatever there at the Masters. He says, print the same article next year.
Well, it was interesting. One of his very, very dear friends cut that out and put it on the refrigerator at the house that week that they were renting. So he was very well aware of it.
Have you ever?
You don't want to poke a bear,
There you go.
The golden bear. Can you ever hear traffic going by from anywhere on the course, like trucks?
No. Not.
Okay, because that's the image I always had of it. It was just all really secluded. But when you look at a map of the place, there's
exactly. But they control a lot of it around it. So.
Oh yeah.
It's a special place.
All right. Andy, we've eaten up enough of your time for today. We appreciate your help with the MACC Fund. Year after year after year, you show up and you chat with us and you give us golf tips.
Thanks, Andy.
And you try and convince us to just enjoy the game.
Right.
Well, thank you guys so much for doing this, because what the MACC Fund has done over the last 50 years is absolutely amazing. Great people involved. And they've saved a ton of lives, saved a ton of kids, and that's what it's all about. So, thank them for their work. Thank you guys for promoting it.
All right, Andy. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
You got it. See you guys. Andy
North, you can catch him. He'll be at the Masters.
Make a donation by phone. The next electric phone number is 414-978-9500. The website where you can look at things to bid on, 1029thehog.com, powered by Savalia Financial Advisors. It's the MACC Fund Radiothon, presented by Christopher, painting by Christopher. This hour is brought to you by Johnson Centrifugal Technology.
Your donation makes a difference. Support the MACC Fund during Bob and Brian's Radiothon, presented by Painting by Christopher. Donate now at 414-978-9500 or at 1029thehog.com.